Hi, in this video I want to demonstrate how easy it is to undertake an assessment of contingency for qualitative risks using RiskOrganizer and its inbuilt Monte Carlo simulation tool set called RiskValuer. In an earlier video I've outlined this manage screen. We've got a project here open which has been pre-populated and has 27 risks. So the first thing is to actually identify which of those risks has a direct cost impact. It is important this is undertaken as a workshop. As with identification and analysis of risk, it is really not something an individual can undertake. That said, it's quite a quick process. So if you keep your eye on this cost impact button, and I'll just tab through, that one's got a cost impact, that one has, that one has, that one doesn't, etc. 27 risks. We then open risk, once we've gone through all those risks, identifying which has a cost impact, open up RiskValuer, and you'll see those 27 risks have now been reduced to 14. So we've just applied a filter. RiskValuer also introduces an additional line in the middle of the screen here, and there's a default value taken from the likelihood, in this case 55% probability. The administrator can change those default values, and indeed there's nothing to stop us changing them on the screen as part of the workshop. We then assess if the risk occurs, what will be the cost. Best case 2,000, 8,000, 10,000. We can move on to the next risk. This one, minus 20,000. In other words, there's a bit of an opportunity. 50, 250,000. It's worthwhile also putting in notes how the numbers have been derived so people can see that in future. Run through all those 14 risks and then we can run a simulation. We can pick the number of iterations. The default is 1,000, but occasionally it's worthwhile going higher, especially if there's the results are moving around a little, which can happen depending on the data. The default value is P90 here, but we're actually going to use P80. Depends on what your organization normally uses. We can then run a simulation. We basically get 3 reports. A histogram, a listing of the input data, and a tornado diagram. Histogram shows the P80 value of 226 and a P50 of 66,000. So that's the most likely value. It'll be this is likely to be above as below that, and if you're being conservative, you'd opt for the 220, depending on where you are with your project cycle. Early on, you tend to be a bit more conservative. The second most valuable report is the tornado diagram, which shows those items which are driving the bottom line. So if I can do more work in this first risk by undertaking treatments, I can therefore reduce the contingency. There is also a listing of the data, so you can review the data subsequently. And that's largely it. The beauty about this process is the Monte Carlo simulation modeling is all built in. So everything, all the data, the whole process can be managed by a project manager. You do not need an expensive consultant to do this work. Updating obviously can be easily done by the project manager as well, and they are the sole source of truth, which is very powerful. I'm sure you'll appreciate how simple managing qualitative contingency is using RiskOrganizer. I look forward to catching up in the next video.